All right, ladies and gentlemen, now it's time to talk about media. I don't know, movies,
TV
shows, things of the like.
things that we have been watching lately. We watch, and you listen to what we've been watching.
Yeah, okay.
That's how it works.
You like your catchphrases?
Yeah.
I get it. Yeah.
Put on a T-shirt. We should get a T-shirt, huh? Beer night T-shirt.
Yeah, sell them to nobody.
Yeah, I'll just wear it. I guess I'll buy me one. Yes. What have we been watching lately? Now, before we start that, we did have a comment in our last episode 18 segment of the movies and TV shows. Have you watched RRR yet?
No.
No, we should probably get on that one.
No.
That's a good one.
Yeah. I guess I need to get to that.
We had a comment that kind of described that movie.
Yeah,
it was pretty cool.
I saw it.
Thank you for the comment. I watched it. It's a fantastic movie. It's good.
Yeah, I want to get to it. I just haven't.
Yeah, it's 3 hours long, so you gotta spend 3 hours on that some bitch. Yeah, it's a long one. It's good action, good stuff, good one. But let's start off with She-Hulk. Is obviously the latest Marvel TV show that has come on Disney Plus.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about it?
I like it.
You like it?
To me, it's nice, lighthearted fun.
Yeah.
Like I kind of like the breezy kind of, just easy kind of lighthearted tone of it. It's kind of like a breath of fresh air, so to speak. It's just kind of, it's just kind of cool in that way. It's just I like the fourth wall breaking element, and just like
it did that in the comments a lot. The comics a lot.
Yes,
right?
yes.
In our comics,
yeah. So and like I just feel like it's like most Marvel stuff. It's very true to the comics, right? It captures the spirits of the comics pretty well. They always make it seem so effortless.
Yeah.
Why is it really that hard, Warner Brothers? Like, is it really that hard to capture the essence of the comics? What made these characters great and the story is great? Is it really that hard? Is it really that hard to capture the essence? I don't know why
stingy.
Marvel makes it seem so easy. They just throw it out there and it's like, oh yeah, this just kind of works.
Yeah.
I don't know, it just kind of works. It really does. It's not the greatest thing I've ever seen. We're only 2 episodes in.
Yeah.
It's not the greatest thing I've ever seen.
Episode was pretty short. Like, I don't know,
half hour,
or 25 minutes because.
Yeah, they had the
little end,
and then the end credits and the beginning, like the scenes.
So it was kind of different. Like there really hasn't been a show like that short. Usually about 45 minutes. Usually,
but I mean, it's good. It's entertaining so far, and I'm really excited to see where it goes. So
I have a little thing in the first episode. Where Hulk is trying to help her out and tell her you need to control your anger or whatever, and she spits off, I've been controlling my anger my entire life. I'm a woman. Like, I know how to control my anger. I've been catcalled or, blah, 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 blah. And then, but if you go back 2 or 3 scenes before that, right, she was at the bar and a couple guys are trying to hit on her and she ends up turning into Hulk, almost looking like she's going to fucking kill these guys. Like, you didn't control your anger there.
But she did.
Not until Hulk tackled her ass, right? Like, she looked like she was about to destroy those motherfuckers.
I think
that was my only little gripe about it, Like,
I think she was just trying to scare him.
Maybe,
also because they weren't okay. Let's be realistic here. Okay, let's be realistic here. They weren't just catcalling her.
Yeah, that's true. They were trying to,
That's not what they were doing.
No.
They were.
Come here, girl.
They were ganging up on her. And so if 3 dudes at a bar start coming up to a woman like that, I'm sorry. If she has the ability to whoop the shit out of them, she fucking better.
I would too.
If I was there, I would be like, hey, no. Exactly. You motherfuckers need to back the fuck off, because they were not just being like, oh, hey, you're hot. Something stupid like that. They were coming up to her in a very suggestive and aggressive manner. So I can understand. Because that was not a comfortable situation.
No.
If she was just a chick who didn't have superpowers or didn't have like her cousin that had superpowers nearby, she could potentially be in a lot of trouble. And that kind of shit happens. So like it's And again, the show, like, I don't feel like the show should be taken that seriously, honestly, because I don't know that that's like, yeah, they had her comments about being a woman in there, but like, so I mean, how many shows are men in that have
Yeah, I
comments
mean that's
about
true.
men
Yeah.
being men or whatever, and
No,
it's
I didn't
it's
really
like,
care.
oh yeah,
I
that's
didn't
funny.
really care for the comment. Is what it is, but like it felt like it just felt weird. Like when that when she was commenting, and I was thinking about the scene that happened a couple scenes ago where she almost lost her temper. Like, well, that doesn't make sense.
Well,
But then you just kind of pointed out maybe it
yeah,
makes
that's
sense,
not
maybe
losing your
does, maybe
temper.
doesn't. Yeah,
That to
defending
me,
yourself, maybe.
right?
Yeah, yeah,
Because that to me is much more of a, if you were her
yeah.
in that situation
Mhm.
and three dudes came up to you who were probably drunk and who were being overly aggressive, and they're not just talking to you, they're
Yeah.
actually approaching you
Mhm.
and coming up behind you in that
Yeah,
manner
that's true.
and surrounding you,
So I didn't think
right?
about it that way. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's
That way.
bullshit. You don't fucking do that. If you did that to me, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a dude. If you did that to
Yeah.
me, I would think you were being aggressive. Imagine if I was a woman who's much
Yeah.
smaller than me. I'm a 6'4", 270-pound man. You do
Mhm.
that to me, I'm gonna be like, what the fuck are you doing? You coming up on something here? If you're you know a 5'6", 130-pound woman, and three drunk dudes are coming up you around that, no. Like that's not a comfortable situation
Yeah.
for anybody, especially a woman. So I can dig it. Like it didn't bother me. I'm just like,
No.
it makes sense because these dudes are out of line.
Yeah.
Now, uh, again, I don't think the show should be taken that seriously. It really, I don't think like it's not political statement central here, but so it's also, you mentioned how it's short, right? So everything
Yeah.
happens quickly,
Oh,
right?
quick, yeah.
It's a short little punchy
Mhm.
show. So like, you know, the men there don't exactly have a lot of nuance to them, but so, you know, there's lots of men in bars that are drunk like that don't. I've seen it many times
Yeah.
myself. If we want to sit here and pretend like that shit doesn't exist, then you're putting your
It
head in the
does, it
sand.
does. And
Now,
then in episode 2, they had that where they're at the bar. I think it was at the beginning of the episode where they're at the bar and some guy came up to She-Hulk and, like, I don't know, randomly said, "There's a pretty little chick over there. I'm gonna go talk to it."
yeah.
Like, I mean, that happens.
Well,
It-
but that guy was just being, to be
being-
fair,
being a
like,
big
so there is
dick or
nuance there
whatever,
because he
but-
was just being doofy,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like he's just being a little bit of a douche.
Mhm.
It was kind of funny. It was like a funny throwaway line,
Yeah.
and even they just kind of rolled their eyes like it was no big deal.
Yeah.
That's different. Like he made it sound like he was about to go strike out on some girl.
Mhm.
That's what he made it sound like.
Mhm.
Those guys and what you were talking about, the scene you were talking about, were not doing
No,
that.
no,
They
no,
were not
no.
like, oh, I'm gonna go strike out on this girl and then turn around and walk away with my tail between my legs, which is like what he was acting
Yeah.
like. No, they were being aggressive and being like, oh, we're gonna in a way force ourselves on.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And that's, yeah. So it's
Yeah.
like, I got no problem if she fucking hulks out against
Yeah,
dudes like
yeah.
that, because it's
I
like,
didn't think of it that way,
Yeah.
so that makes sense. All right. Well, we're enjoying She-Hulk. Hopefully, you guys are too on Disney Plus. Did you finish Better Call Saul?
of course,
Yeah.
of course, Saul gone.
Oh, Saul's
Saul
gone.
gone.
Saul is in. I guess.
Spoiler alert!
Should we spoil it?
Spoiler alert!
All right, we're gonna spoil it. So if you haven't seen Better Call Saul, make sure you hit the timestamps and fast forward to the next thing that
I
we
wonder
watch.
if Better Call Saul
But-
viewers like come on YouTube and watch
Reviews?
shit like this. I
Maybe.
don't know.
I don't know. Who
I
knows?
don't know. It's not exactly like nerddom like Marvel or
Yeah,
DC
yeah.
or anything like that. Or
But we're
even
going
Game
to
of
talk
Thrones.
about what we've liked in this show. It's a love story. I think it's like a cool love story. Like the last, tail end of it. Like, well, at the tail end, because Saul he goes back, he goes into the future and what's been happening after Breaking Bad, and he gets the itch. He gets the itch to fucking start.
He fucks up, man.
He fucks up.
Fucks up.
And he gets caught. And then that whole court scene when he's in court, it's fantastic. And then to me, it feels like just, he missed what's her face's name? I'm blanking on her name. Kim. He missed Kim and wanted her there, and and then she sees him. And
well, also it was his moment of redemption.
Yeah.
He said it himself. He wanted her there
Yeah.
to see that he was finally pulling his head out of his ass.
Tell the truth.
Yeah, and he was finally, he wasn't going to be Saul or Slippin' Jimmy anymore. He was just going to be Jimmy.
Jim.
And you know, he even said, you know, his name's is Jimmy McGill. Yeah, you know, and so it was his little moment of responsibility and redemption, which he had always struggled with. He never really took full responsibility, even though what I always found interesting about this show, especially in the early seasons, was the dynamic between him and his brother.
Oh yeah.
So you always
so cool.
You always root for Jimmy because he's so likable.
Yeah.
And you don't like
his brother.
You don't like him. No.
We're being interrupted here.
Yeah, we're kind of in the middle of something here, so just saying. I'll come say hi afterwards.
But because it felt like Jimmy's brother was such a dick to him,
right?
And like you didn't really. I don't remember. Unless you remember. I don't remember the reason why he was such a dick to him.
This is the point I was getting at.
Yeah.
Because he knew who he was.
Yeah.
He saw him for who he really was, and he saw through all of his bullshit. So he always knew all along that he was, no matter what he was doing, no matter what kind of face he put on, he was still Slippin' Jimmy. His brother saw through it all and knew everything.
Yeah.
But what the magic trick that show does is that you know it too. You know how the story plays out.
Yeah.
You've seen Breaking Bad. You know what he turns into.
Exactly.
But you still root for him otherwise. Anyway, you still know it's like, yeah, but maybe he's still good, right? Like we still like him. We just love him. His brother was like, no, man, this guy is playing everybody. He's playing you, the audience, even.
Yeah.
He's playing Kim. He's playing everybody. He's not taking responsibility. He is toxic to their lives. And it took Jimmy to the very end to finally realize that. But his brother saw it all along. All along. And that's why his brother never gave him an inch, because he's like, no, man, I know what you're doing. I know you're still full of shit. I know you're still playing people. If you stop and straighten up, then I'll respect you. But until you do, no, you're still. And his brother had his own issues, obviously. But when it came down to the whole straight and narrow kind of lawyer thing, his brother knew all along. No, man, like you're
not doing it right.
Yeah, I know what you're doing. I see through what you're doing, and I know what you're doing. No matter how good people think you are, I know you're playing them. I know that it's eventually going to blow up in their face, and it did. It did. Howard got, spoiler alert, Howard was killed, right? Kim's life,
mid-season finale of that.
Kim's life was essentially ruined. Jimmy Saul was toxic to everybody around him. And that was the point of that show. And what was so brilliant about that show is you even though you knew where he ended up, you still kind of believed that maybe there was a chance he wasn't going to go. Like, you still loved the character so much that you wanted him to be good. You wanted to believe he had the heart of gold.
I kind of wanted him to, at the last episode, I wanted him to swindle getting out of prison. I wanted him to.
That's the other thing too. Is it's kind of the anti-hero thing, right? Where you're kind of rooting for the bad guy a little bit. Like, you want to see him kind of get away with it, because you like him so much, and you just want to see him kind of get out of it. Not necessarily at Kim's expense, right? But you do want to see how is he going to figure out his way out of this one?
Yeah,
How is he going to get out of this jam? Let's see what he does. But at some point in time, like, there's only so much you can do that. Like, it's coming to an end, right? Like, you can't do that forever. Like, there's only so much he'd done. There's only so much he could do. He basically had gotten away with it. That was the thing. He had. But he was living a shitty life alone. Nobody. Manager of a Cinnabon in the mall.
Yeah.
And
wanted more. Wanted back.
Yep. And that's where he fucked up. He got greedy again and wanted to be Slippin' Jimmy again, and that's why he got caught.
Great show. Make sure you watch Better Call Saul and Breaking Bad.
Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul is brilliant the way it arcs.
Yeah.
Vince Gilligan is a genius. It's insanely well written and even better acted. Like, it's Can't go wrong.
Good stuff. Have you watched Prey?
No, not yet. I really want to though.
Good movie.
I really want to.
Fantastic Predator movie.
I should probably watch that like tomorrow.
Yeah,
I think I'm gonna probably watch it tomorrow.
It's good stuff. Great Predator movie. I enjoyed it a lot.
I'm a gigantic Predator fan, just so you know. One of my favorite movies of all time from my youth is the original Predator, and I have a soft spot for Predator 2. I've always loved that movie.
Yeah.
Even though it's very polarizing, some people love it, some people hate it. Everything else after that. So I'm really excited at the prospect of another good Predator movie.
Yeah, it's good.
Really excited.
Definitely need to watch that one.
I do.
There is another Netflix movie called The Gray Man. It was really good. It's with like I hate actor. I can't always remember actors' names, but
Ryan Gosling
and Captain America.
Chris Evans.
Fantastic movie. Great stuff. It kind of reminds me of John Wick a little bit, you know.
Interesting.
A little bit, yeah.
Kind
of like somewhat of a similar story, a little bit almost.
Not a gigantic John Wick guy, so
it's
fucking threaten me with a good time.
Great action scenes, great stuff. Don't choke on your beer.
Wrong pipe.
Another great Netflix movie that has like a basic storyline is Carter, but has insane camera work. You have to watch this movie for the camera work in itself.
You just go through like Netflix watching like random fucking movies or what?
Where
do you find time to do this shit?
Netflix originals. I got time, don't worry.
Yeah,
where clearly. I watch it.
I don't know, you're watching fucking all these shows and all these movies.
Working like 16 hours a day, and I find time to watch movies.
How?
I have my
and play video games and watch shows and.
I have my ways.
You not sleep?
Not really. Carter. It's a Korean film, so it's kind of like it's almost like a zombie-like film. There's no like zombies really in it. It's kind of a basic storyline where if you do this activity or if you do this for me, you'll get a chance to save your wife and daughter or whatever. But the movie camera work is fucking insane. Now I don't know if this is like shot. Some of the shots seem unreal, like it's little CGI shots. Because there's this one shot where the camera is filming like a train scene, and it fucking goes underneath the fucking train, comes back up, and boom, there's a helicopter right up there. And fucking goes back around underneath the train, turns around, boom, there's another helicopter up there. It's just the camera work is something I have never seen in a fucking film.
Definitely CGI.
Yeah.
So you can do shit like that.
Cool.
You can do shit like that now with a drone.
With a drone, yeah. But my thing was,
under a bridge, not under a train.
So that seems
the gap
CGI.
between the trains like this.
Yeah,
that'd be one hell of a drone
CGI.
flyer.
But there's other scenes with a camera. I'm like, I don't see how that works, you know. But you just watch it for the camera scenes alone. It's insane. I've never seen camera shots like that. It's incredible.
It's cool.
The Black Phone on Peacock.
Yeah, man, you watching all this shit, man.
is a good. It's a cool 70s horror film.
Except it's not
the 70s. They kind of it's 70s.
No, I mean it takes place in the.
It takes place.
It was filmed this like last year.
Yeah, it takes place in the 70s.
Okay.
And they kind of pictured the 70s really cool there. It was really cool. It's a good horror. It's kind of like a kidnapping kids horror film. It's kind of cool.
Kids horror film?
Kidnapping kids.
You mean kidnapping kids? Isn't that a little redundant?
I mean, it's a Ethan
napping.
Kidnapping
Kids. Kidnapping kids. It's kind of in the, it's implied. It's in the title.
It's a cool, good acting. Ethan Hawke, I think.
Yes, his name is Ethan Hawke.
He's good. He's
really kind of a famous actor. I don't know. Maybe you've heard of him. Been around a long time.
I finished season 5. Season 5 of Game of Thrones.
Yeah. You're so far behind.
Fantastic season. Love it,
dude.
So
come on, like this.
Finally, winter is coming. Finally.
Is it?
I think so, right? So that's my one gripe about this fucking show. Is like I remember season 1 was like winter is coming. Season 2, be wary, winter is coming. I'm like,
well, you
what
have to
the fuck
understand.
is
You have to
going- what is
understand the
winter's coming?
lore. The lore
Yeah.
of it is that
It's the anticipation.
the summers and the
Yeah.
winters take
Yeah.
place over decades,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So there's this, there's always this big anticipation of this thing that's coming, and then so even though it's like 3 or 4 years out,
Yeah.
to them it's like that's close
Uh-huh.
because winter hasn't been here for a long
Yeah.
time. So unless you're in Winterfell and then it's cold
And
all the
then
time.
it's funny. I've seen like clips on TikTok or YouTube or whatever saying like, hey, so your girlfriend wants to be spoiled, right? So I'll spoil her. I'll say, Jon Snow dies in season 4, episode 8. Let alone he dies in fucking season 5, episode 10. I think it was last episode or 9. I can't remember now. I'm blanking. Yeah, that was funny. I was like, I'm anticipating his death in season 4. I was like, fuck, someone spoiled it for me. But he dies in season 5.
Yeah,
maybe.
Yeah. No, he definitely dies.
He dies?
He definitely dies. But
Season 5 is pretty crazy.
but there's still surprises to come.
Yeah,
There's still surprises to come. Wait until season 6, my friend.
Yeah.
If you think that was a surprise,
Yeah.
just fucking wait.
Oh my God. It's cool to see the White Walkers fucking finally,
Yep.
in full form, and winter is coming apparently.
So who's your favorite character? I want to know.
So, what's her name? The chick that frees the slaves and the dragons.
Daenerys?
Yeah.
That's everybody's favorite
I
character.
like her.
You don't like Jon?
I like Jon Snow. Jon Snow as
That
well.
sounds good.
I like what's his name? Sam, the fat guy, right? Sam.
Yeah.
Sam?
Is
Yeah.
this really?
I like Sam. Yeah, I
Really?
can kind of relate to him. A little bit.
Wow. It's funny because it's true.
I know. But I mean, her character arc is fantastic.
Yeah,
I love
yeah.
it. It's fantastic.
Well, I always really liked John's character arc.
Yeah.
John's character arc was great. I always really liked Rob, and you remember the Red Wedding, right?
and,
He's gone.
and and
Arya.
the midget.
Arya's
or
good.
the what's his name?
he's-
I'm blanking on his name.
I'm sorry. Hold on. We'll get there. I know his name.
Yeah.
We'll get there. I'll help you
Or
out.
the-
But
the little
just,
person.
yes.
My bad,
Thank
my
you.
bad,
Did you
my
just say midget?
Little person. My bad. My bad.
Dwarf is good too.
Dwarf works too.
He's not a midget.
No,
He's not. He's not a little person
Uh,
either, by the way. Technically,
no.
he's not. He's
No,
a dwarf.
Dwarf. Okay.
Midgets are now called little people.
Little
You don't say
people.
midget anymore.
I know. We don't
They're
say
called
that.
little people. And then dwarves are something completely different, which
Yeah.
is what he is. And by the way, his name is Tyrion.
Tyrion. There you go.
Great.
Lannister.
Great.
Lannister.
One of the
Great
greatest
character.
television
I love
characters
his
ever.
character arc
He's
too.
great.
He's fantastic.
He's fucking great.
He's a great character.
Even fucking his brother Jamie's character.
Oh, Jamie's
Even,
character's
like you start out hating this
Hating the
motherfucker. Like you
motherfucker.
hate
Yeah.
this motherfucker. Like you're just like, I want to see him get his ass kicked. And then you're like, why do I kind of like this guy?
And then,
Like, what's going on here?
and then obviously end of season 5, just fucking everyone dies, and
Yep.
his daughter dies on the boat. Like, what the fuck is going on? There's a lot of death in that season.
Just wait till
Oh, yeah.
season 6, my friend.
Alright, well,
God, I want to go back and watch it again just because it's fucking so. That show.
did you watch
Show's great.
the House of the Dragon? The
Mhm.
new episode.
Sure
New
did.
season?
Of course.
Yeah,
Sure did.
living up to it. You like it?
Well, it's only one episode in, so
Oh,
let's
yeah.
calm down. We don't need to be like,
Calm
like
down.
you know,
one episode.
overreaction Monday here and be like, oh, one episode. Has it lived up to the legacy or not?
Answer
It's like,
Calm Tuesday.
one fucking episode. It was good.
Yeah.
I liked it. I
Alright.
really did. I think it set the stage really well. I'm
Yeah.
excited to see what comes.
Alright.
It was enjoyable.
Sounds good. That's all kind of I've been watching. What have you been watching?
So I finally finished Peaky Blinders.
Oh yeah. All right.
The last season, the final season
Was
came
the
out in June.
series finale there.
The final season came out in
Yeah.
June, and it took me a minute to get to it, but I
Yeah.
finally did. Honestly, I'm gonna say top 5 show all time.
Oh wow.
I'm gonna put
Put
it
it right
up there
there.
with the likes of, and I may go more than 5 here,
Yeah.
so bear with me. I'm gonna put it up there with the likes of Breaking Bad, Game of Thrones, Sopranos. There's other shows,
Yeah.
whatever. So maybe I'm not gonna list
Yeah.
5. I'm blanking, but it's up there. Like it is such a well-written show, such an amazingly acted show. Every single season is just as good as the last, even though they're different. They're very different.
Yeah.
The the first couple of seasons are grittier and kind of more street level, and then it tends to get bigger and kind of with more like political intrigue and stuff like that later on, which does change the mood of the show, but it's still just as good. It never ever wavers, and it's just an incredible fucking show. If you haven't watched this, you need to now. Pay attention. It's a show you pay attention to. The dialogue is very fast and furious, and in very thick accents. So you got to pay attention. You can't
watch it on
you can't watch this while fucking doing homework
phone.
or something. Or while you're on fucking TikTok. No, you actually got to pay attention. Which is great for me because I love that kind of shit. So, it's just beyond rewarding. We already talked about Better Call Saul.
Yeah.
Better Call Saul's up there as well, right? Along with Breaking Bad and Peaky Blinders, Sopranos. Whatever else. Westworld season 3.
Ooh. I have not watched it.
Interesting.
It's interesting, huh?
So, was it season? Season 4. I'm sorry, season 4.
Season 4 is a new one.
Yeah, season 4 is.
Is it? Are they releasing one episode at a time, or are they?
Yeah, but it's already over.
It's already over.
It's done. Yeah, it's 8 weeks.
Okay.
Trying to think of the best way to describe this. I love it. Like it's amazing, but it's super. That show never does what you expect it to do. It never does, and I'm always just like, not expected to go there. But I like that. Like I like surprises, man. I don't like. I'm not an armchair quarterback. I'm not going to be like, I expected you to do this.
I predicted this, and you didn't.
My expectations were here, and you didn't meet them, so you suck.
Yeah.
No. I like that it surprises me. I like that it goes where I don't expect it to. And this season was just interesting because it's like super meta. That's the best way I can describe it.
Super what?
Super meta.
Meta. Okay.
Like just very existential and just weird, but in a good way.
Okay.
In a very good way. And I loved it. And I'm excited to see what they do with the next season. It just keeps getting, I almost want to say it keeps going more and more off the rails, but in a good way. Like I do not 100% do not know what to expect next with that show. Every season, I'm like, I fucking any clue what they're gonna do here, and that's what makes it exciting and fun. And I'm sure it probably rubs some people the wrong way.
Yeah.
Because I know people are very married to expectations oftentimes, and if something doesn't meet expectations, then they get their panties in a wad. But I am here to say, unwad your panties and just have a good time, man.
All right. Anything else? All you got? Maybe a little bit more.
I feel like there's been movies that I've watched, but I'm not.
Can't remember.
Did you watch Metal Lords?
Metal Lord? Yes.
Okay.
Did you?
I did.
I actually liked that. I watched that like a couple months back.
It was
fun.
Cool.
I liked it. It was cool.
It was fun little movie.
Yeah, it was a fun little metal movie.
Yeah,
you know?
fun little movie. Yeah. And I keep telling you,
I didn't think you would like that movie though.
Why?
Because
it's movie about
it's
metal.
very cheesy though. It's very cheesy about cheesy.
Is
very
it?
cheesy. I think it is.
It's not that cheesy.
Yeah.
It's not that cheesy,
man.
That
cheesy?
No. Like it's actually kind of real in a lot of ways.
Yeah, because
but it's also comedic. Like it's not really. I don't want cheesy. What was cheesy about it?
I'm trying to remember since I watched that like months ago. I don't know. Maybe because it feels real almost. Maybe.
But that's a good thing.
It is a good thing. But I'm thinking like non-metal fans will find it stupid because it's real-ish. You know. I don't know.
I don't really see how it's stupid. Like it wasn't never. I never got a stupid vibes.
Why would that guy, the guitar player, like the leader, why wouldn't he accept that chick in the band?
Well, because he's an elitist.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm sorry.
We understand that.
Have you never met a metal elitist?
No, I understand that, but my perception of like other people that are not metalheads would not understand.
I didn't think it was that hard to understand in the movie. Like to me, maybe you're right. Maybe because I understand it, so maybe
I understand it too.
Or subconscious, where I just accepted it. But
yeah,
if I look at it purely objectively, as objectively as I can,
okay.
I didn't think it was too hard to understand why he was doing that in his mind. Now, and you can disagree with him. You can you could think he's a jerk because he was.
Yeah.
But you could also kind of understand like why he was a jerk. Not that you endorse it, but you can understand why he was doing it, because he was so insecure about himself and everything he was doing with his friend. But that aside, some of the other aspects of it that I kind of connected to in a lot of ways. The kid, the drummer, learning drums,
not knowing metal really at all,
jamming to like War Pigs and shit like that.
That scene where you just jam into it is fantastic. It's awesome.
Well, but it's so relatable because I'm not a drummer and guitar player, but I did the exact same thing with guitar. Like it was just it's 100% relatable. Just because he's playing drums and I'm playing guitar doesn't mean it's any different. Yeah, and it's very similar to where you're like, and as you play it more, you start to feel it, and you start to understand what's going on. And you're like, okay, because I get it. I know what they're doing here.
In the movie, he's building. You could see him fuck up.
Yeah,
and then it kind of builds to him actually learning it.
And then he goes and he goes sleeveless and starts fucking jamming out, just hitting it. And it's like
it's fantastic. He's learning it more.
Like this, and he's getting the feeling behind it, which is and it's what the movie is all about. The movie does a pretty good job of doesn't do it like a perfect job, no, but it does a pretty good job of conveying the feeling behind that genre of music, the feel that's there, and the pure expression that's there, the creative expression and the emotional expression that's there. It does a pretty good job for a goofy little high school movie of conveying that. So it was enjoyable in that aspect to me as well.
Right on. I do have one bad movie that I've seen. Nope.
No spoilers.
I didn't like it as much.
No spoilers,
I'm not
please.
Gonna spoil it for you.
Okay.
But like I didn't. The anticipation for the movie, it had a lot of hype on it. I thought it did tell a good story, right? It did tell a great story. I feel like it failed a little bit, like on exactly what is going on in the actual movie. So it has a good build to it, but then I think it fails expectation on exactly what is really going on.
What do you mean on exactly what's going on? Like explaining what's going on?
What the end result is on what is happening actually on this farm.
So the ending didn't meet your expectations?
My expectations. Didn't it's not
Are you talking about
not what you expect is
well that can but again that can be a good thing.
What do you expect have you seen the trailer?
Yes, of course.
Okay. So what do you expect is going on?
I don't want to get into it too much because I don't want spoilers. But one thing I will say is that I feel like what you're describing is a little bit of his style.
It is.
By his, I mean Jordan Peele. Because if you've seen,
he does a great job.
If you've seen Us, I feel like you're describing Us.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't really wrap it up and explain it in a convenient way. It gives you nuggets and lets you know kind of basically what's going on. But it doesn't really fill all the gaps. It kind of just leaves it to your imagination, for better or worse, and that's fine.
This movie does give you what you think it is. It's right there. You think it's this, and then it turns into I don't know. Like maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I don't know.
I mean that's fine.
I'm trying not to spoil it for you.
Sure, no, I get you. I get you. But I appreciate something being open ended, and allowing you to think about it and maybe draw your own conclusions. I appreciate that, and not necessarily just wrapping it up in a nice little bow. I mean, I tend to like art films, which do that all the time, right? They don't necessarily. There's a picture on my wall right there of The Shining, right?
Yeah.
So, The Shining, if you read the book, the novel, it pretty much wraps everything up pretty neatly. Stanley Kubrick's movie does not, and there's one reason. It's that picture that's on the wall right there.
You've seen it in
The-
previous videos. It's been on.
The scene ends on if you're familiar with the movie, you'll know what I'm talking about. You don't need to see it. The scene ends zooming in on this picture, and as soon as you see that, you're like, "What the fuck?" I'm now questioning everything I've just seen in the entire movie.
Yeah.
And then the credits roll. And that made the movie like 1,000 times better to me because it added an extra layer of depth
Made you think.
that wouldn't have otherwise been there. And now,
Yep.
40 years later, people are still talking about it, still theorizing, still, does it mean this? Does it mean that? Does it mean this? I think this, I think that, I think this, I think stuff that you don't even get out of reading the novel, right? And most people will always say the novels are better than movies. To me, not in this case, because Kubrick added an extra dimension that wasn't there. And through his own genius, his own artistic, sensibilities. So, without going off on too big of a tangent, that doesn't mean that Nope did it well. I haven't seen it yet. So, but I do like elements that do that sometimes, that kind of pull the rug out from underneath you and make you think and make you question everything. I think really that's what art should do in general, right? So,
well, if you haven't liked what we've been watching, too bad. Fucking watch it anyways. That's all.
What?
Too bad. Watch
what? But just to clarify,
Yes.
if they haven't liked what we've been watching, that implies that they already have watched it and did not like it. So you can't tell them to watch it anyways because they've already watched it. It's too late.
Oh. Whatever.
Point A to point B and C and everywhere in between. I don't know.
E equals MC squared.
If you haven't watched any of these things,
yeah.
I mean, come on. I mean, I know. Okay, a lot of people haven't watched Peaky Blinders. You need to get on that shit now because it's incredible.
I need to watch that.
Everybody's seen Game of Thrones. You're behind on that.
I think I'm gonna start watching Peaky Blinders after Game of Thrones.
That's a good idea.
I gotta finish Game of Thrones.
Finish Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones is again, it's up there top 5 for me, along with Peaky Blinders. Like those are just cream of the crop. I'm interested to see what you have to say about season 8 of Game of Thrones because all the interwebbers will hate on it so much.
I've heard so much hate about it,
and they will hate on it so much. So now you get an objective viewpoint. Somebody who's coming in cold is just going to be like, "Oh, everybody talks about how terrible it is. Let me watch it and see what I think." That's perfect because as long as you're not influenced by the noise.
No, I'll stay away. I'll just create my own opinion.
Exactly.
On it, so.
That's what you need to do because I like season 8. Yeah. I think it's great.
I've not seen any Game of Thrones like spoilers or anything, so I don't know anything.
I mean,
what happens
we'll get there.
So.
We'll get there when you finish it. I have my problems with season 8, sure, but there's I think I've told you this before. There's so many great moments in it that I can't hate on it because I'm not going to just forget about these great moments because I didn't like this one other thing or whatever else. Objectivity, people.
All right. Well, that wraps up our movies and TV shows segment with what we have been watching lately. We got one more segment for you: video games, and we also be
two beers to review in the video game segment. Are you fucking kidding me?
Talking video games at the same time.
You better fucking tune in because this shit's gonna get wild.
Off the rails.